Okay, good. I think my recorder is working, so let's open up Pascal. Now I'm guessing if you're watching this, by now you probably have Pascal installed, so I wouldn't be explaining how to install it. You just go to the website, download it, and, well, install it, and this is it. This is what the interface looks like. You can change how it looks up here. Let's ignore that, but you can change between, well, not between that, but you can change between this, this, and this. And what you need to remember is that green will be your output and blue will be your input. In Pascal, these are the buttons you're going to be using to run your program. So when you compile it, you're checking for bugs in your code. Bugs in your code are not what you want. It messes with your code. You can get unexpected output and stuff like that. So let's begin. First thing you need to put in every Pascal app or whatever you're making, the first word you'll always see is program. And then you're going to put a space, and then you're going to put whatever you want to name your program. And you're going to end it with a semicolon. So let's look at this. So whenever you're beginning a Pascal program, you always start with the program keyword. So this is supposed to be at the top of every Pascal code you write. This will always be here. You will then put the name of whatever you're calling your program, and then a semicolon. The semicolon is very important. Now, when you're naming your program, you can't have a number here, or you can't have an underscore. It must start with a letter. And I don't think it's necessary to have numbers in there. I think it would just be, what's a good word? Traditional to just have letters, because that would make sense. Now let's not move on to anything too advanced yet, so we're just going to begin. Begin is a keyword, is also not a keyword, that will be at the top of all of your code. So before you can start saying what your program will do, you need to type the word begin. Notice that begin begins with a capital letter, not lowercase, uppercase. That's very important. Then let's learn something else you can do in Pascal. This is called a write line, and this is what your program will use to output. So in Pascal, there are two things you're going to learn. You're going to learn read line and outline. Read line and write line. Write line will be your output, read line will be your input. This will be, well, we're going to focus on the outputting part. We're going to do the inputting part later. So how you use write line is you put the keyword write line like this, underscore, you put RITELN, short for write line. You then open parentheses or brackets. You put one quotation mark, the uplifted comma, a single uplifted comma, and you write whatever your program will output. So I can put my name here. And then I also want to end it with a single upper comma, and then I want to close off the parentheses and have a semicolon there. These semicolons will be used a lot, so please don't forget them. They can mess with your program, they can cause bugs, and so on. Something else that will always be in your Pascal program is the end keyword. It also has a full stop or period right here. This period is very important. It's not a semicolon, it's a period or a full stop. And it will also begin with an uppercase letter. I can't talk, sorry. This will also begin with an uppercase letter. So begin and end, these are always uppercase. I believe there are also, I think the only two keywords that will be uppercase, I'm not sure. But yeah, these will always be uppercase. Whatever is in between this begin and end will run in your program. So let's do two write lines. We can do write line my name, and we can do write line nice to meet you. And this is what my program will be outputting, the stuff we put in between these single uplifted commas. So if I compile, as you can see it says down here, compile successful. This means I've successfully compiled my program without bugs or errors or any syntax errors. We're going to go into syntax errors another time, but yeah, compiled successfully. And now we're going to run our program. As you can see in our output area up here, we've printed what we put in our write line comments. So that's a great thing right here. Now that we know how write line comments work, you can use these for a lot of things. So you can, for example, Okay, now that we've learned how the right line keyword works, we can use that to draw, well, shapes, or, quote, shapes. So since whatever we put in between these single quotes will be printed to the output side of things, we can put stuff in here. So we can put an L, which I am using for a side to my shape, and then this other quotation here to create a shape. So when I compile this, I can see compile successful, and I can run this, and here's my shape. Let's learn about variables. So in our program, I'm just going to go right under program, so the keyword program. I'm going to write the word var. Var. Now var is another keyword, just like program begin and end, in Pascal that you can use to create variables. If you don't know what a variable is, think of it as a box. On a box, you can put things in. So just like a box, you can store numbers or whatever. So you can store information in there, which will be very useful in your programs. So let's create something called name. And we're going to set name equal, or we're going to use a colon, and we're going to put a string with a capital S, and we're going to end that with a semicolon. So what we're saying is name. Name is not a specified keyword in Pascal. This is just a word I choose. So this can be name, first name. It won't matter. It's whatever I choose. So I'm going to put first name. I'm going to put colon, which means I'm assigning. So I'm assigning a string to first name. Now, obviously, when I create my variable, I haven't put anything in it yet. So what I'm going to do to put something inside of the string that is first name, I'm going to use readline. Now remember I said readline is for input, so I'm going to put readline, open parentheses or brackets, I'm going to put first name. I'm going to close my parentheses, and there we go. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to get rid of all of these right lines. I'm going to print first name. Now notice that I don't put this word first name in single quotes. Why is that? Because I'm referring to a variable. You only use single quotes whenever you're quoting something exactly. So if I wanted to say hello there, I would put it in single quotes. But if I know what I'm going to be printing is going to be changing, I wouldn't put it in single quotes. I'll attach it to a variable. That's not supposed to make any sense. That won't make any sense right now. I'll explain it better some other time, but yeah. This readline keyword will take whatever I input and put it inside of the first name variable. And then the second line will print that variable, or whatever is inside that variable. So I'm going to compile my program, compile successful as you can see, and I'm going to run it. As you can see, my program doesn't do anything. What my program is doing right now actually is it's waiting for an input. So I'm just going to type my name, and I'm going to hit enter. And as you can see on the second line, it printed my name. And on the first line, that was what I typed in initially. So whatever I type in here is going to be stored in the first name variable. And then on the second line, it's going to print it to the screen. That's what happened here. And that's it for this one. I'm sorry if my explaining is a bit repetitive. I'm not used to this. I'm just trying this out for the first time. But yeah, I hope you learned something.